like just a few days before that, one of my friends was telling me that she was leaving for Italy and would be gone for the month, and I didn't stay at her place, so I was like, okay, sure. So we called it quits one day, and then the next day I moved in to her place.
Ken, is that something that my levels are a little bit high, so I'm adjusting them. That's also part of the record. Oh, okay, they're good. If you can hold on to this for a second, it shouldn't go past 12.
La la la. Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Right.
It's high.
I love that laugh. Here you go. So hold on to this for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the question so I kind of stay on track. But is that something that you can talk about? Like, just maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I want it in an interview. Once, like when I was in Salt Lake City, I got interviewed. I had like a full feature, and it was like a friend of mine was interviewing me. Like it was for the local newspaper, for like their like arts preview section, but she was the one doing the interview, and I told her about told her about some very personal stuff. And I was like, I'm just telling my people, it's like, she put the shit in the motherfucking article. It was like all over the internet, all over the city. I was like, fuck you. That was rude. I will never trust another journalist again. So, there's that. No.
I guess I'm kind of like doing some journalism, right? I'm doing too much. This freaking publication, it's a multimedia publication.
That's cool.
And
Ian.
And yeah, school. And I had this textile line that I was doing.
Damn, you are doing a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Not too much, but it's a lot.
Yeah, but I might be seeing someone too, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I like introverts, so that's gonna be interesting.
This person is an extrovert?
This person is an introvert.
Oh, an introvert.
And I'm very extroverted, so
But you like introverts?
It seems to be my niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't try. And actually, introverts actually approach me, which is actually that's not necessarily true. Actually, it's kind of true, mostly true. Mostly true. But yeah, I don't know, they're different. It's like a battery.
Oh yeah, it's like negative and positive, yeah.
It's the charge, the direction it goes.
Yeah, I'm kind of an introvert, and I.
You think so?
Oh yeah, very. Like when it really comes down to it, like I enjoy being alone. I really like that time.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I suppose. I'm getting all like quiet now. So,
I know.
Like, I don't want my business in the streets.
Good evening. We're keeping it Oprah status.
right. You get a car.
You get Vaseline. You might get a T-shirt. You might get a T-shirt.
Right. Might get some lip balm.
Lip balm. Well, it's Amos. And I'm here tonight with
Your mouth full.
my mouth full. My mouth is full. I'm eating from Vanessa's dumpling house right now. We're in Christie and Broome. And I'm here with Prentice Whitlow to just talk. I have my questions,
Yeah.
as I always do, but I do like for us to take our tangents. I'm an ornate speaker, so yeah, I don't go straight to the point. I'm like,
That's fine.
that's my brand. I'm not trying to change myself into something else. Like, that's just who I am.
Right.
So that's just what we're gonna rock with, and we're gonna see how. Accept that, right? I'm the me. And this is Prentice.
Yes.
We're talking about so many cool things. Don't get quiet now.
I know. It'll take me a minute. I have to take a second to forget that this is here.
It's true. My demeanor already changed. I'm like here holding it, and I'm like
Right.
holding my pen. I'm being what I think a journalist is, I guess. All right, so we'll start with the questions. Who are you?
My name is Prentice Whitlow. I've taken to calling myself a choreographer and an artist and a dancer. And it's kind of interesting to start calling myself a choreographer. I made a LinkedIn page the other day because somebody suggested that I do that. And I made sure to like put choreographer as my title. I mean, it's easier to do now because it is what I do more than anything else, like more than dancing, more than making visual work. But I guess it's something I've always wanted to call myself, and it's nice to be in a place to be able to do that now. Although the shit ain't making me no money yet. Not that much money. Like some of the commissions that I have coming up are paying me, but like still, there's further to go. Just the beginning of the choreographer's journey.
What's the middle of a choreographer's journey? Well, we're talking about we're talking about where you are at right now,
Yeah.
right? Where'd you come from?
I was born in Alabama, and then my family moved to Maryland, to Prince George's County, Maryland.
Okay.
That's kind of where I grew up. Like, it's right outside of Washington, D.C. I grew up like on the second exit outside of Washington, D.C. going into Maryland, and it's technically, I don't know if it still is, but for a long time, it probably still is, like, the richest black county in America.
Really?
Which is weird because it's poor as hell. Like, it's not like in Detroit or anything like that, but it's like, you know, I don't know where the richest part comes from, but by the numbers, it is the richest black county in America. And what's also interesting about the area that I come from is that, like, it's DC, and DC is extremely segregated, like very much so.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
so,
yeah, because the capital.
Yeah, but also just people's attitudes. Like it just nobody wants to fucking mix. Like I didn't really see white people in my neighborhood until high school, and even then, like the first time I ever saw white people in my county, like in my neighborhood, was like driving through. Mm-hmm. Like I remember that moment. Because it was that damn deep.
Surveying.
Or just, you know, like literally just like on like coming off the highway going, I don't know where the fuck, but like they weren't, you know, they didn't stop. But yeah.
I'm getting it, man. So, I mean, that's where you come from, but you also talked about who you are professionally. So, like, where this, you know, tell me about the steps on that journey. You spoke a lot about, his body language is indicating, I would say, shyness.
Yeah, very much so.
Right now.
It's that mic.
It's that mic. It's big and black.
Right.
You know what that does.
Right. And I'm shying away. I'm scared. I feel threatened. My life. Danger. I'm like not even making eye contact anymore. Anyways.
Well, I'm not either. I'm sorry. I'm being ridiculous.
No, it's
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, Amos. Well, I mean, yeah. Plus, like telling that story, telling like that personal story, enough times feels like weird and old and like
boring?
strange. Yeah, absolutely.
So forget about it. We're here.
Well, I mean, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. So, I guess it all kind of started like when I was in high school. I was kind of an activist of sorts. Like I was a tour guide at the National Holocaust Memorial Museum. I was in a program called City of Peace. They taught like cross-cultural understanding, violence prevention, conflict resolution. It was also like a musical theater program, which was my first kind of exposure and experience in the arts and performing arts. Mm-hmm. And I was also like kind of a assistant coordinator of the arts programming at my local community center. And while I was there, some of the girls wanted dance, and I was in my senior year of high school. I didn't want to take PE, but I could take dance, and that would serve as that credit. So I took dance.
You didn't want to PE?
I didn't want to take PE. Mm-hmm. So I thought I'll take dance. and just bring back what I know, and these kids will be satisfied.
Right.
And the woman that taught dance in my high school took a liking to me, and I started working with her more intensely. It was also a time I became a very devout Christian. And she had a Christian dance school, so it kind of all happened around the same time. Like I was dating this boy, and he broke my heart, and I was like, no man can love me the way that God can love me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give God everything I have. And around the same time, I started dancing with this woman who had like her own Christian dance school and her own Christian dance company, and I like excluded everybody. Like I completely flipped pages. Like I gave away all my secular music. Anybody that wasn't Christian, I didn't associate with them. That's like immersed myself. Like I was studying like Strong's Bible. I don't even know what they call it anymore. But I was really deep into Bible study. And like every function that I went to was like a church thing.
Which denomination?
It was non-denominational, which really meant you could do whatever the hell you want.
Interesting.
Like even like me and my friends would go to college campuses. Like for fun, we would go to college campuses to try to convert Muslims. Like specifically to look a Muslim person in their face and be like, "Your God is false."
Really?
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Huh.
Like it got really deep. And at the same time, I was dancing and choreographing. And it was weird, but it was good for me as a dancer and a choreographer because like no one had. I was just beginning, but no one had the level of skill that I had. No one had the level of interest that I had just yet. So it was easy for me to become a leader. And like within a year of dancing, my church commissioned me to make like a full concert. Like we rented out a theater, and we had like 12 or 13 pieces on the program. So it was great. Like I got to choreograph right away, and kind of just experience what that was like, and began figuring out what my process was at that time. Even though it's changed very much now, because then my dance making was very much tied to my spirituality. And I've since like denounced all of that, of course.
It doesn't have to be, of course, but
well, yeah, true. I thought about that as I was saying it, but I have. Let that be known. Let the record show.
Let the record show.
Let the record show
that he is a free man.
I know Prentice does not believe in Jesus. Sorry, that's how I feel. I mean, at
Wait,
least.
You sorry about that feeling?
I mean, because of course, like I am at least respectful of people who do choose that life.
Right.
And choose to funnel all their energy into their religion in that way, into that spiritual path, that particular Christian expression of spirituality. And it took a minute for me to be able to say without feeling ashamed, even to be able to say like I don't believe in Jesus. Because even like when I told my pastor about it, I was like, I don't know if I believe in Jesus. He kind of like shamed me. He was like, Prentice, if you leave the church this way right now, you're gonna end up like doing drag, some kind of like sad, bad vaudeville drag show somewhere, and it's not even gonna be good. It's not even gonna be great. Like you're just gonna be living this horrible life if you leave Jesus this way. And I was like, okay, like clearly you're trying some shit right now, like. This, I saw through the ploy. I saw through the games, and I was like, okay, let me really take a step back. And then I got excommunicated, which was really, really profound because like I cut everyone off. Like all the programs I was a part of before I went into the church, like the Holocaust Museum, the cross cultural City of Peace group, all like 3 years of being in that program, and all of a sudden I was like, don't talk to me. So I lost a lot to pursue that spiritual path, to kind of save myself in a way from any kind of pain.
What prompted this enlightenment?
Uh, oddly enough, dance. Like so yeah, senior year of high school, started dancing, got really deep in the church. This was like halfway through my senior year, and right after, like I had to take a year off in between high school and college, so that whole year after I graduated, I was like deep in the church, choreographing, dancing at a Christian dance school, like Bible study, trying to convert people, the whole 20 yards or whatever. I don't even know sports enough to know if that's a good thing to say. But so like I graduated, took a whole year and like really immersed myself in that world. And then I went to what I thought was a Christian college, but it wasn't. And while I was there, I just like kind of wiggled my way out of the closet. Like I was dating girls, and it's like little by little. Like I had friends who just kind of brought me closer and closer to being like, look, bitch, just come on out, just like step out, do you? And there was one particular class that I took. It was he's loud. I took a dance therapy course.
What course? I want to put this down.
Dance therapy.
It's fun.
I took a dance therapy course, and I had like, we did this one particular exercise where we had to the teacher prompted us on some shit, and we had to like move while we were doing it, and the vision that I had was that I was in a huge field, so like in a valley, huge like mountains on either side, covered in grass and flowers, and there was this long path in front of me, and I was like in this huge ass tree. And the tree was kind of my companion. So like I'm walking, like I'm sitting in the tree, and like me and the tree are walking down this path towards the water. And at one point, like I get down from the tree and I tell it to stop, and I'm like, you can't come with me, like I have to do this by myself. And the tree was all sad like a dog with its owner leaving the house, and I was like, stay here. And I walked down this path with like mountains all around me, flowers and everything, and I remember thinking like, why would God make all of this just to have me forsake it? And not to say that that's like how Christianity is, period, but that's the particular vein of Christianity that I was in. That's kind of how it was. It was like, forsake everything else, like dedicate yourself to God, like give everything that you can. And that's just how I went for it too, because that kind of dedication suited me.
Just who you are as a person.
So I told the tree to stop, and I walked down to the water, and I just got into this small pool. Just kind of just waited around, and then like somehow the pool opened up into the ocean. And the ocean for me is just like being able to look out over an endless amount of water. Not endless, but to the human eye, to me at that point, I can't see any land.
It's our perspective.
Right, it's my perspective. Being able to look out over an endless amount of water just like opened up, it just meant possibilities. It meant like space. It meant vastness.
To our limited perspective.
Yeah. And then like after that, I like was finally able to say to myself that I didn't believe in Jesus, and I couldn't continue to dedicate myself that way anymore. With like, because I'm one of those people, like I can't do the whole hot and cold thing. Like I'm not one of those people that can like be out partying on Saturday night and to go to church the next morning. Like if I'm going to dedicate myself to a spiritual practice, I'm going to damn do it.
Authentic. Authenticity.
Right. I can't do that in between shit. Like it hurts my feelings even now to see. It's like you owe yourself more respect, and you owe the God that you serve more respect than to like do this shit halfway.
And plus, you think that I'm stupid.
What?
Like that I don't see you doing this. I mean, that's my take on it, but it's not about me.
What do you mean?
Like my father. Like I drink and I live my life, but not me. My father. Like just not necessarily, but someone's father, who my father's actually this person too.
Yeah.
He lives his life, but he's like a deacon in the church. And like, as soon as I'm like, the same guy, and I don't know if I'll publish this, I probably will,
Right.
but like, same guy, like, he'll be talking about lesbians and how much he loves like wet pussy and like all this stuff like and like here,
Yeah.
and then the next sentence he's like, yeah, but I don't know, like something's wrong with like those people who like the same people, like they're good people, but like God doesn't like that. God
Yeah,
doesn't
I
like that. I'm like,
guess.
what?
I mean, I like not. I'm older now, so I can get with the complexities of that shit a little bit more.
Right.
I was like 21. Like I'd never drank. I'd never smoked. And I was like, I just, I felt differently about things at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, 20, early 20s.
Yeah,
Early 20s.
yeah, very early. See, why did I start talking about this? What was I talking
Well, I
about?
was asking about where you came from. And
Oh yeah.
I love that I was able to answer that question just now. I just want, get that out.
Okay.
It's, sometimes we hear ourselves and it's important to hear ourselves. That's my experience.
Yeah.
But you did start going into your process a little bit. Why are you giving me the ick face?
Cause I'm confused. I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I did kind of like. I like.
I'm just rambling.
People don't like.
So I've like, I mean, we all have complex ass stories.
Right. Yeah,
but
it's fine.
My ass has done so damn much.
Ramble and tangent.
Yeah.
Hey,
all kinds.
maybe. I mean, I don't think I'll cut you off. So I asked, who are you? You told me a bit about yourself, and the experience of religion in your life has been fundamental.
I don't like to admit that, but because I would hate to tie myself to that part of my life, especially after like trying to get away from it.
Significantly informs your ability to understand yourself.
Yeah. It's definitely a part. It's definitely a part of the story of how I am, where I am as an artist. Like I wouldn't be where I am in dance without the experiences that I had in the church. But that doesn't mean I need to bring the church with me. I ain't trying to be no church queen. I'm not. But I mean, it's it's in there. It's part of the story. As much as I would like for it not to be, it is part of the story.
Okay, so boom, like I can make an effort to draw a connection between your process and that experience. So moving forward and telling me more about your process. Tell me about your process. As your professional moniker is choreographer.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, tell me about your last project.
Last project. I can tell you about my current project.
Okay.
Cause I can tell you about my current project. Cause lately I've been like choreographing for bands, singers, drag queens, which is all very, very fun. And I've been doing a lot more dancing prior to this. I've been doing a whole lot more dancing. But like this past year has been really good in terms of getting commissions, being asked to make work, getting paid to make work, and
It's been viable.
it's getting there. It's getting there. It's like and when I say choreography, or when I say that I'm a choreographer, like I do choreograph for like for bands, like entertainment type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm working towards is much more like concert dance, and like classical modern, classical ballet, like that. That's what my training is in. Cause like I got my degree in dance. I have a BFA in dance from George Mason University, and I've worked as a classical dancer. It's only like this past summer that I've started like choreographing for entertainment type stuff.
Cool.
But yeah. So it is weird because I'm really am still figuring it out, like how to go about making the work that I want to make right now. But basically, what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of making ghetto ballets is the thing.
Okay.
And
Explain that to me.
Well, it's always changing. Like even like right now it's changing. Like as when I met up with you, I was like writing things down, and it's always changing, still changing, which is great. Like it means I'm still on this path of discovery instead of like, going about this stale kind of like journey. It's like it's morphing all the time, which is great. It's fun.
Who's ghetto?
Huh?
Who's ghetto?
I am. So.
That's interesting. Okay.
Well, I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. So growing up in Prince George's County was interesting because, like, it was hood. It was ghetto as hell. Like like my mom calls my high school East Side High. Like it was very much black. It was like black and poor, and so yeah. So there's that experience that I've had. And then when I went to college for dance, I went into a program that was very white, and the aesthetic was very white, and the choreographers that we studied were white. And when I graduated, I was looking around at all the companies that I was encouraged to try to perform with,
right.
And I didn't see anybody my color, and I was really worried about that. Like really worried about being able to get a job just because my
Right.
skin might be too brown.
Right. Has that been a problem?
No, not. And I mean, at least not in the way that I'm aware of. Like, it's helped. It's helped. But so I feel like I personally am in this weird place of like now I feel like I'm not black enough, not ghetto enough, not poor enough to fit in easily with the people that I grew up with. Because even growing up, like I got beat the fuck up all the time. I got picked on. Like I played violin. I was in an accelerated reading program. Like, yeah, I was even growing up in the middle of that like poor urban mess. I was still too otherworldly, and going into college with all these white folks being like the only one of the only brown skinned people, but also being one of the only like brown skinned poor people, like a person, because it's different. Like you can be black, but it's weird. It's weird being like black amongst a bunch of white people, but it's also weird being like poor and black and ghetto amongst a whole bunch of white people. Like the gap is just like it's too damn much. In terms of being able to like communicate experiences, being able to connect.
Connect? Like,
yeah.
What do you mean? I can text you. What are you talking about?
I mean,
cultural experiences.
Yeah, and feeling. I don't know. It's still weird. It's still difficult for me to try to explain it. It's which is part of the reason why I'm a damn choreographer. Like, it's part of the reason why I'm instead of writing about this shit, I like make visual art and dance about this shit, because that's one way that I can really talk about it.
Right.
But it's just like like it, having to be like the representative of poor black people in a really white space. And I say having to be because like I couldn't connect with them because I had no idea what the fuck their experiences were like. And one of the only ways that I found that I could make sense of my place among those people was to come directly out of my ghetto-ness, out of my poor blackness. And I've always like teetered on the edge of like not black enough and not white enough. So
what does that mean? To not be black enough?
I mean, when I talk about blackness, I mean my own personal experience of blackness, which is like poor blackness, like Coming from like a place where like the educational system is poor, like pure shit.
You feel like you understood that as a teenager?
No.
Oh, yeah,
No,
early
I
20-something.
still barely understand it. Because of course I didn't know then. Like nobody, like for instance, like nobody mentioned college at my high school until we were like halfway through our senior year.
Really?
Yeah, and that's one reason why I ended up taking a year off after high school because like I just wasn't fucking ready.
Interesting.
And like I had one of my teachers I had for 3 hours straight, and we literally would go in there and like watch TV and eat food for 3 hours straight.
Seriously?
And I remember once like asking my teacher to actually teach us. I was like, can we actually do some shit? And a few days later, maybe like even the next day, one of my classmates walked up to me in the hallway, was like, "Look, son, this is a chill class. We don't do that shit. Like you wanna learn, do that shit in your own time, but like you don't fuck this up for the rest of us." So that I came from that, and then came into a space where people didn't understand what that was like, and not only didn't understand, but didn't necessarily care. And it was difficult for me even to explain what that was like because like I didn't have the education for it. I didn't have the
that kind of experience.
Yeah, I couldn't explain it. I couldn't talk about it. And so one of the few things
How'd you react? Like, what'd you say back? Like, or what happened?
I mean, it wasn't like I had a hard ass time. It was just like no. There was no one really there to understand like how profound some of the things I was feeling were, and I was able to get by. But at the same time,
Is it okay if I eat this?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Mom, dad?
My mom was a maid. Like I'm like this is the thing. I'm the oldest of 5, all very close in age. My mom, like, she cleaned hotels. Like she worked at Motel 6. She worked at Best Western. Like we were, like like the kind of family like almost got evicted every now and again. And even now I feel shame talking about it because. I feel like if I would have stayed in that community, like stayed in Prince George's County, stayed among like poor black people, then I don't think I would feel that same shame. Like other people would be going through the same damn things, and it wouldn't feel as bad. But even now, I feel like in talking about what it's been like being a part of a community that still suffers from some of like the fucked up racial constructs and economic constructs that we have in America.
Political.
Yeah, it's like oh girl, shut the fuck up, calm your ass down, nobody gives a shit, like we got Obama, or how however you explain it to yourself. Like it, I don't know.
No, talk about it. That's why I'm here listening. I
Yeah.
feel like I care. I
Yeah.
care. And I'm not gonna tell
Awesome.
you that this stuff.
But
You're fine? You
yeah,
okay?
I'm good. I can't sit still.
It's fine.
But it's weird. Even now, I feel don't have the language to talk about what my own experiences have been like. Coming from underneath, and then coming from like culturally, coming from underneath, and not being able to explain what being there was like, and then coming out of it was like. And what things I've had to do or be, play up and play down in order to actually like do something with myself, and be some kind of successful outside of like Prince George's County, like the kind of world that I came from. Yeah.
You're distracting me.
Huh?
You're distracting me.
How?
Eating.
I'm not even noticing. I just like came to the end of my thoughts.
Actually, I know you didn't come to the end of your thoughts. I know that you found a door that you might know where the key is now. That's something that you can approach again.
I mean, like I said, even talking about it, it even confuses me. It's hard to explain exactly what I'm thinking and feeling. It even confuses me as I'm talking about it, as I'm trying to explain it.
What's confusing?
I don't have the words for the shit. I don't have the words to describe it, and I'm still finding the words to describe it. And even then, there's even with the words that I do have, there's still shame in me for putting as much weight on my experiences as I do, for caring as much about my poorness, my blackness, my underdogness as I do. Because when I left that community, nobody gave a fuck. It was like, can you do what we need you to do or not? And there wasn't space, and I still feel like there. I mean, of course there is space now, but I especially like in my early 20s, I didn't feel like there was space for anyone to really care or give a fuck that I'd come from all this shit of you know, oldest of 5, mom being a maid, not really taught well in high school or any education for that matter, and still having to show up in a school full of white people and be able to be emotionally on the same level,
Perform.
yeah, like perform in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, emotionally on the same level, educationally on the same level, like talent-wise on the same level, and I still lament that, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm so curious about the work that I'm doing right now, because I mean that's part of what I'm talking about. Is like we're in this Obama age, and I guess one of my fears is that there's this potential for us to try to pretend to be post-racial. I think it's becoming that less so now that we've had like Trayvon Martin case, other cases that happen around the same time where people are starting to figure out, oh, actually we really don't give a shit about you, black person.
Yeah.
Like we really fucking don't, and we're gonna let you know about it. Like Texas is going to try to secede from the fucking United States because our black
That's
president
always,
was elected for
it's
a second
always,
time.
yeah.
The things like that make me feel less alone in that feeling. But part of what motivates my work right now is like
Things like the confirmation that this post-racial age that we live in are being questioned. Like that idea is being questioned.
it's
Make you feel less alone.
Yeah. But for me, it's about the subtleties of it.
Right.
And I think that's what's so difficult. That's part of the reason why it's so difficult for me to explain. But I feel it so strongly. I've always, it's because DC was like mad segregated. I remember like getting on trains and like trying to offer up seats to people of other races, white people, and being rejected, and had seen them like walk all the way down to the side of the train to have a seat.
Right.
And it might not sound like a lot, but
that means something.
Well, I mean, but I know people who would make me feel like that ain't shit, and you're just being fucking paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
And but what I know is that prior to Trayvon Martin, all that racial shit was operating still underneath the surface, but nobody really cared because most black people, we've been able to like go above it. Even me, like coming from where I've come from, I've been able to get out of a certain type of oppression and move out and move up.
Can I say you've been able to get out of a more physically present, a more visibly present form of economic and political marginalization?
Maybe I stopped thinking because I stopped listening because I was thinking, and I was trying not to lose my train of thought because it's taking me a minute to
Okay, go. Yeah.
But like, one of the things that really one of the things that really concerns me is that I have like my sister's name is LaPrecious. My cousins' names are they have names like Jatarvius, Jaquarius, Diprecious. Diprecious' sister's name is Dipassion, Obsession, Sensation, Hardnet. My cousin Lestar has a daughter named La Future Lestyle.
I'm like, yeah.
Right. The shit is beautiful to me.
Yeah.
And I did, but there's
also.
Right. There's a part of me that's like, yes, I came from some potentially debilitating racial and cultural circumstances, and I've been able to make it out. Hooray for me! But the same shit that kind of like exploded and became a little bit more visible when Trayvon Martin's killer was set free is the same shit that I'm afraid that my cousins will have to face. You know what I mean? Like they're like in Florida, there's still Voters' Rights Act even. Like there are people who there's still potential for a large group of poor black people in this country to be fucked up in the future if we pretend like we can move the fuck on and everything's okay for the most part. But coming from being black and poor, coming from that community, I'm still concerned about those people. I'm still like, are they going to be okay? Right. Are they going to be all right? And I don't know, but because yeah, and like I was saying before, I guess there's a subtlety to it. There's there's a subversive to the racism, the oppression, there's a subtlety. There's like a subversive nature to it, if I'm even using that word correctly. But I guess that's one of the things that really like burns me up and makes me really passionate is the things that I notice are like just like slight, subtle
microaggressions and
yeah. And that I think if somebody doesn't say something about that, we might have in the future this divide where there are people who are left way behind in some way, maybe as far as being understood culturally, being able to because I can barely speak up for myself. Like I come from a poor background and I don't have the education for it. I can barely speak up for myself. And there are people that have never left where I left and don't know that they even can speak up or should speak up for the shit that's going on where they live. And one of the things that I can do with the skills that I have is like make some kind of work about it. And I'm just now realizing that one of the advantages that I have as a dance artist is that my work can be like a lot of white people with money patronize like they're the patrons of dance, and there is at least the potential, the space for my work to be seen by these people and have them think about it in some way. I feel like there's space in there for me to open the door for some people to think a little bit differently about what the fate of certain communities in this country could be, will be, what their current experiences are. And the only reason I really, really give a fuck is because I'm from it.
It sounds like you're as concerned about, because of the existence of like this racialization, this divide that's created because of really like skin color for economic reasons and political reasons. It sounds like, though you're very concerned with the potential possibility that black people are left behind.
Not just black people, poor uneducated, underserved, undertaught black people who probably don't know any damn better.
Right. Do you feel, are you sounds like there might be some concern on the other side too. Like you kind of want to inform white rich people.
Yeah. I mean, or at least I'm aware that my work has the potential to do that. It is in the place to be able to do that. Like my work can be seen in venues that like could affect enough people, the right people. Because like part of the problem with being poor and black and underserved, undertaught, marginalized, however you want to put it, is that like even me, like I always feel the struggle of not being able to know how to say it.
I'll say this
What?
to interject, and I said I wouldn't do that too much today, and I think I've been okay. Lately I'm just like, yo, fuck that shit. Like, rather than say nothing, I'm now at this point where I am, I'd rather say the wrong thing than to say nothing at all.
I guess my experience though is that like, I mean I am like in the work that I'm making, like I'm not holding back in any kind of way. Like I'm in my words, it's difficult. It's very easy to become the angry black man, and I have been around enough white people who are so culturally different enough from me that if I go about it that way, I won't be heard. I'll only be dismissed. Like I know that. I know well enough to know that. But in my work, like I do push those boundaries. I do push those limits. I actually really enjoy being like really kind of aggressive in that way. Like I'm in residency at a space in Tribeca right now, and we showed some of our work like week before last, and the woman who runs the program, God bless her, great woman, Karen Bernard. She is an older white woman. Even like she, in talking about the work, she was like, "Oh, this isn't really my culture. I don't really know. You know, like I don't really. You have to explain some terms to me." But after I showed her my work, the look on her face just told me like I was doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Like there was a certain kind of fear, and also saw like a desire to come closer and a certain kind of respect. But also I saw that her marbles were mixed up in her head, like she didn't quite know what to do, and that's one of the things.
Disorientation.
Yeah, no, I am hoping to be able to do that.
Disorientation by information, by way of information.
Yeah, I guess.
That's I think a good thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think I had a conversation with another friend, so I'm kind of like not quite parroting, but the power of disorientation, I think, is really, it's kind of like death, or what chaos does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it mixes things up so that things can really have the opportunity to be constructed again properly.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what beauty is. It's interesting, like what you say when you are just going.
Yeah.
But for me, beauty is what lasts. It's what is indefinite. It's what is true.
Yeah.
The truth is indestructible, you know? I don't know. It's like, that's a lot to like go on because, I don't know. Lots of things are true. Everything is true.
Mm.
But like, there's a distinction between what's true and what's real also. And I think we mix it up. What's real doesn't necessarily have to be beautiful, but the things that are true are. It's I should get into it more, but maybe I shouldn't. This is not my interview. But
right. I was like, I started to go there with you, and I was like, wait, bitch.
no, that like we really should have that conversation.
Yeah.
At some point,
I'm down.
I like Prentice, y'all. Prentice is cool.
Girl.
Prentice is cool peoples.
Thank you for letting me rant. I'm
It's
actually
not
I'm
a rant.
learning a lot right now about, because like I said, I'm still figuring things out. But I'm not. It's great because I'm not waiting to figure this shit out before I like go forward. I'm like
Right.
stumbling through it, you know, and letting the anger come out as it will.
You are a graceful, angry person.
Thank you.
Oh, here we are.
All right. Oh, be careful.
Thank you. Are you? Let me talk this way. Oh right. Nah, like
Is this question number 3?
this
2?
is question number like 2.5.
Okay.
So I kind of asked about who you are. You told me about what you do. Your last project, I think you kind of touched on. I think
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't really explain it. Okay, so I'm making ghetto ballets.
you did say that, and I want to maybe we'll leave it at that, and that'll be
Yeah.
something that people can search for. Hashtag ghetto ballet.
I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah?
Because, like, not that there's much out. I mean, like, I have a lot of shit coming up in the next year.
Yeah.
Like, people will have opportunities to check it out and
Where can
see
people
what I'm
go?
talking about.
Give me an email, not an email, like a web URL.
It's well, I have a Tumblr source that it's a website, but it's a damn Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Prentice Whitlow. .tumblr.com. PrenticeWhitlow.
You'll definitely get one new follower.
Tumblr. Right. At least one. But
Me.
right. God bless you. Thank you for your patronage. but no. So I guess one of the things I'm curious about, like having grown up in a very poor black community and then educated in a very like European white aesthetic.
Eurocentric.
Yeah. There's something interesting to me about putting those two things next to each other and kind of letting people figure out what it is that they feel when they watch it, and like just letting things come up, and allowing the viewer to just kind of like experience their own reactions and what that reveals to them.
Juxtaposition.
About themselves. Yeah.
Disposition.
Plus also like the because like in the world of dance, those two things don't really mix. Like Juicy J and 2 Chainz and like Gucci Mane, Chopped and Screwed, Miami Bass, Nola Bounce. Like those things don't belong in the same space as like classical ballet, Balanchine. Like we don't necessarily want to or think about mixing those things.
I do want to interject again and just make a distinction for you a little bit and just say we are, when you're saying that implies what you're talking about is institutions that are established.
Yeah.
Dance institutions, established dance institutions that are kind of like that reinforce colonial traditions. Like these are not dance institutions that like we create, like or that you created. I mean, Alvin Ailey, you probably could find representation somewhere.
Yeah.
In there, Makita Thomas, you can Donald Byrd.
Yeah, but okay. That's the other thing is that like there are choreographers who are kind of sort of broaching. It's not that there isn't blackness in dance. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Well, I'm not saying that, but dance. Like, are we saying? Or I mean, there's dance, but then there's like institutionalized dance, which is white, pretty much.
I think that's what I mean when I'm talking about like where I grew up and then where I was educated. Because I wasn't educated at Dolly Dinkle. I was educated at a place where it was like your goal is to operate in the higher echelons of the dance world.
Right.
And so far I have.
Right.
And it's working in that world. Like I work in that world, and I still, like my goal is to present work at places like DNA and New York Live Arts. Like my goal isn't to like make this shit and then have it, performed elsewhere. I guess like there's still.
Who's elsewhere?
Girl, you ask me so many damn questions. I know this is an interview, but you're making my head hurt.
I'm doing too much.
Right, Mr. A.
Do enough.
No, I know I don't always explain myself very clearly. I'm like, who, what?
I'm not judging. I'm not saying that either.
Okay. I don't know.
You want me to? Let me read to you what Tadpole is about. What Jellyfish is about, real quick. Quick interlude. So. So much paperwork.
Wait, ask me these questions, because there's a certain point where I'm gonna get tired and I'm not gonna do this anymore. Just ask me these questions. We can talk like in your edit, like you can talk about this later. We like in the editing, you can
Is
like
there
bring that
anyone
forward.
that you've known, directly or indirectly, who kind of like? No, actually, is there anyone who you have known directly, now deceased, that remains a powerful, important influence in your, or inspiration to you?
That I've known directly.
Yeah.
That's a powerful inspiration.
Maybe not powerful, but an inspiration to you. You don't have to.
Not inspiration necessarily. My father died like 2 years ago. We weren't close. And but what's interesting is that the way that he inspires me is that he lets me know what not to be and what I'm capable of being, that I know that I need to be aware of in order to not go that direction. You know what I mean? Like he lets me know like what my personality is capable, because we're similar people. He like knowing him let me know what my personality is capable of and what pitfalls I need to be aware of. So yeah, in that way, he inspired me.
What is your interest in teaching? I know that you taught dance in high school.
Well, I mean, when I was teaching before, I mean, I taught when I was in college. I taught at a place called Northeast Performing Arts Group.
Right.
I mean, the thing, like when I was in high school, when I was working at the community arts center, I thought I was gonna like teach dance and then bring it back, but I actually just I just ended up dancing. I became very involved in dance, and like I said, like I cut everything off that wasn't directly involved in my church. So even my relationship with my community center kind of faltered off. So I just like devoted all my time to the church. But when I was in college, like kind of after I left the church, when I was in college at George Mason University, I taught at a place called Northeast Performing Arts Group, and that was a really interesting and powerful place to work. Like all underserved kids, but like passionate as hell, talented as hell, and there I felt a sense of community, and I felt like there were things I could really pass along to these kids, but within their world. I feel like some of the things that I went through, experiences that I had, served to pull me out of my blackness, to pull me out of my poorness, and make me feel alienated from that part of myself. And I feel like I was able to, at Northeast Performing Arts Group, say like, you're valid, your experiences are valid, who you are is fucking fine, but we're still gonna push you, and we're still gonna help you grow without trying to encourage you to be less of what you are or where you come from, without trying to encourage you to abandon who you are culturally.
While encouraging your acknowledgement of your history.
Huh?
While still encouraging an acknowledgement of your history?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. An area of science that interests you?
Physics. I love quantum mechanics. I read up on it as much as I can. I read up on it until it makes my brain hurt. Because even quantum physicists don't understand quantum physics. But I read up on it. And I'm also really, really fascinated by like the parallels between quantum mechanics and Buddhism.
Can we save each other?
Can we save each other? What do you mean?
Can we save each other?
Who the hell? Who's we?
Can black men save each other? Can black men save each other?
That's a huge ass question. I mean, relationships and support and community understanding, that can save any damn body. It can save any damn body. I feel like anyone who really has to act alone and feels separate from everybody and anybody else is going to make some damn mistakes. But if there's somebody sitting there with you, somebody that you can see, somebody that you can speak to, or just somebody that you're aware of that can give you a sense of like, I'm not the fucking only one, then sure, yes, then black men can save black men.
Do you know another person that is male identifying, male bodied, gender, maybe perhaps gender non-conventional, dark skinned, who you admire?
Yes.
Who's that person?
I mean, there's a bunch of them. I'm not a bunch. I can name. Wait, give me the criteria again. Male, able to be identified as a cisgender male, maybe genderqueer. Did you say something about dark skin? Just black. Dark skin. Mm-hmm. Bill T. Jones is my baby's daddy.
Wow.
He is. I was just watching a documentary about him last night.
He's cool. He's amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bill T. Jones, cool. You speak your mind is a portion of this. You have spoken your mind.
Very much so.
And there's still more. But I'm going to do a free association little thing. And the first round, it's a 2-round free association. The first round is direct free association. The second round asks you whether it's true or false. So study it and learn it and be prepared for the test. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, he studied. All right, so give me the first word that comes to mind when you think of the following words. Okay?
Mm-hmm. First word?
First thing that comes to mind. You heard the first word. He's cheating. Power. As quick as possible. Like 1, 2.
Art of Power.
1, 2. What?
Art of Power, the book.
Beauty.
Love.
God.
False.
Oh, genius.
False.
No. We're not doing true or false yet.
No, I know.
Oh,
those are the words that pop into my mind.
Identity.
Anything.
Sexuality.
Everything.
Reality.
False.
Some people you just can't stand. Some people you just can't stand. Prentice is not one of those people.
No, I mean that is how I feel about each of those subjects. Like I feel like the idea of God is false. I feel like reality, our perception of reality, is generally false. Like that goes back to what I was talking about with quantum mechanics and Buddhism. Like our idea of reality generally is false. Like, and even our perceptions, like as humans, like our senses can't pick up everything that's happening in the damn
They're
world.
limited.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Just the idea of matter when you define it is like something. It's
fucking empty. It's technically not the fuck there.
That too. And it still has mass. Like, what is this thing that is mass?
Like, you don't even know what the fuck that is.
Takes up space.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this Higgs boson shit, though.
Excited about this what?
Like Higgs boson and all the other particles that are like popping up. Because at first they thought like, oh, this is just the one, but now they're finding like all other kinds of particles that are connected, or even building blocks that are smaller than the Higgs boson. Like, oh shit.
How is that gonna come down into like economics and freeing people from the shackles?
I don't know, girl, but quantum mechanics brought us lasers and your fucking iPhone and like like all kinds of shit. Like, absolutely, yeah. No, very much true. Very much true. Quantum mechanics is like, it's small discoveries are part of the reason why our world works the way that it is works the way that it does right now in terms of technology.
So I kind of didn't get to ask you that, but if you were given like, if I gave you an award to get a master's degree in physics, biting my tongue, would you take that award and like go with it?
To go study quantum mechanics?
To study quantum mechanics.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then teach it.
Maybe.
Yeah?
Shit.
Love.
You already asked me that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
Oh, you said beauty and I said
Mhm.
love. Calvin.
Whiteness.
False.
That's cute. That's real cute. I like it. I like it a lot. Demographics. You told me so much about yourself. What could I be missing? How tall are you?
6 foot-ish.
You're American.
Yes.
Yeah. Where are your parents from?
Alabama. I mean, somewhere mixed up in there is like Haitian. My grandma and my great grandmother look like straight up Native American. It's not. I'm not. It's not like that kind of Native American where it's like, oh yeah, girl. Of course we're all Native American. I come from like a certain part of the South where it's a little bit more directly in the genes. Didn't come out in the hair, but it came out in my nose.
Well, Africans have been like indigenous to America like longer than Columbus is.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, prior to Columbus's.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Now you
History
know.
teacher, not chemistry. Schooling.
I didn't even go into it. So we don't have to go into the
True and false.
true and
Do
false.
anyways, because you're not gonna use all these answers anyways, right?
Power. He's thinking.
Wow. Pass.
There's no pass. There's no pass. Pass go.
I mean,
Give me the
powers-
$200.
Shit. I guess I'll say. Wait. Free association or is this true or false?
True or false.
I'm going to have to say true.
Beauty.
True.
God.
False.
Genius.
False.
Identity. Quickly.
True.
Sexuality.
True.
Reality.
False.
Love.
True.
Whiteness.
False.
Okay, and I think that concludes it. Jellyfish is a collective created to build a wider platform that attracts and organizes individuals of marginally represented groups for the purpose of honing their nascent ability, mastering newly acquired skills, and collectively using their gifts to define their image in contemporary media and exhibit greater economic agency. All right. There's that.
That sounds like everything we just talked about.
Yeah,
Sounds
right.
like everything I just went off about.
See?
I thought this. That's why I was going off so much. I thought this interview was about me.
Oh, well,
This
it
ain't had
is.
shit to do.
It is.
Speaking of my free association, ain't got shit to do with.
It's like
art making and
generally.
whatnot.
Oh, please. Like, it's definitely a picture of you. Definitely a picture of you.
We'll
Look
see.
at you. You're
I know
funny.
I'm all vain.
So I'm gonna turn this off. There's a whole list of
I think he's so damn badly.
let's go back to Vanessa's. You're not gonna do it in this.